You didn't tell me what that effect was. Like, how has this affected you? I don't understand you're interrupting me. I don't understand your experience, and that's what we're here to understand, so we can get to know each other.
I called it, and I hate to be right, but I called it. I said Veronica is the woman that is going to break Elliot, and here we go, exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F. Oh my God, because the way she held his feet to the fire, that is what he needed. Because he's used to sort of walking all over people, the way he treated, Lauren, I think he is regretting letting go of Lauren now. He has buyer's remorse because now he's matched with someone who will not put up with this crap and who will hold his feet to the fire. The fact that you are so humbled, he didn't know what to do. I think the experts and the producers told him that if you mess up this time, we're not giving you a second chance. And because he wants to be on the show, this is why he's decided to sort of be so reserved and so meek and sort of just go along with whatever this woman puts on his plate. And Tony and Morena, who is surprised? Her friends came up with that excuse. I'm going to say it. Her friends made up that excuse. It wasn't Tony. He's never said anything like that. And her friends made that excuse because they know their friend. And this is why we are where we are. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button. Turn on the notification bell when I upload new videos. And definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 12, Episode 19. When you thought we were done with Adrian, the producer said, hold my beer. We did not need to continue from where we left yesterday. My blood pressure was already high. It didn't need to go back up again. So we catch up with Aihna and her sister. Aihna is tearful. She really is sad because, this man has humiliated her. So he kept her in the process just so he could humiliate her. That's the impression that I get. Her face is even more swollen than it was when her sister said it. You have Adrian and his family sitting outside. They're saying, Aihna's sister Cleo should be embarrassed of herself because of the way she carried herself. And it's like Cleo came in, sat down quietly and listened whilst your sisters and your friend/girlfriend, in my opinion, berated Aihna, and then for you to now turn it and try and spin it. I'm not surprised. I really am not surprised. It seems Adrian is the spin doctor. He's good at sort of deflecting. He's good at sort of taking the blame when the blame is on him and sort of throwing it to somebody else. He did the same thing with Billy when he accused Billy of wife swap, and he's done exactly the same thing. So Aihna, she's so furious. She says she wants to leave. Her sister backs her that she needs to leave because at times it's not worth her staying in the process for her to continue to sort of go through all this stress and frustration. Anyway, so you now have Aihna, she goes to her apartment. Adrian is with his sister and his friends. The sisters are saying, oh, it's time for me to go. I need to go. And it's like, why are you still here? You're not part of the main cast. Why are you still here? We won't even miss you. You came in, you humiliated yourself after that redhead girl did whatever she did. And so the audacity to say, I want to go, please pack your bags. The door is open. You're already outside. Keep it stepping. Aihna's speaking to the producers, and that even at the table, they asked her, are you okay? And she said, I'm not. And she's not okay. The audacity for them to put ratings over somebody's mental well-being, I do not get. For Adrian to come back and try and be patronizing and saying, do you not feel you need to say something? And it's like, it's the audacity. It's the audacity. Aihna is right to say, she told her sister, please don't go hard at him. He told his family to say, have at it. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Say whatever you want. Degrade her, berate her, whatever you want to do. Do it. I don't care. That's the impression that we got. And it's like, why would someone like that be matched with a single mother? Someone who's got responsibilities, to match them with an idiot. I'm sorry, for lack of a better word, I can't even call him a genius. He's an idiot. He's an idiot. For him to come back and sort of elicit an apology from her and try and deflect and say her sister is at fault. It's like, buddy, are you delusional? What's going on? Oh my God, I normally don't like to label people, but he's had my blood pressure so high, and the lack of accountability and self-reflection And emotional intelligence is on full display for everybody to see. It really is. Because for him to say, I needed an apology, her sister humiliated herself with everything she said and she did. She had no right to say that. And it's like, so if her sister had no right to say what she did, what right did your friend, not even a relative, your friend, what right did she have? And apparently the friend has said she stopped talking to him. She feels bad about what she did. And it's like, you're a woman yourself. For you to come and berate another woman for clout doesn't make sense. So we have Jeff and Ree. They had their Meet the Parents in the previous episode. So they're good. They're reflecting on the Meet the Parents. They're wondering if, Jeff did very, very well. And I remember very well that Ree's mother was impressed because he's got a great job. He seems to have a very good head on his shoulders. So I don't think there would have been anything concerning. I think if he had been an Adrian or if he had been, what's his name, Elliot, then she would have reason to worry. So it's good that they're continuing on a smooth pace. I hope this is the last we hear of them talking about Jackie and Ryan. Jackie and Ryan are living Jackie's fantasy. They're living Jackie's romance novel, sort of idyllic relationship. Because she had him dance and sort of dip her again. And it's like, Jackie, it's enough. It's enough. He hasn't dropped you a couple of times. That's it. Keep it stepping. We don't need to keep going back and forth at this. You seem to be in a good spot. Let's stay there and let's keep it stepping. And then, oh my God, my favorite family member, Auntie Maria, is back. We all remember her from the wedding when she was very impressed by the look of Paul. So she says she wants to know if the myth about the French is true. So she's got questions to ask. And it's like, oh my God, this is about to be embarrassing. So they're meeting up with Carina and Paul. And we all know Carina and Paul have been doing amazing throughout the experiment. They seem to be very peaceful and very relaxed and sort of very complimentary when it comes to their connection. So they meet up with Paul's sister who wasn't able to be there at the wedding. So that's great that she gets to meet Carina. And it was a peaceful conversation. And, people were being very superficial and they didn't want to go into detail. And Auntie Maria had questions that she needed to ask. So she took this as a golden opportunity and asked, are the two of you, physical? And so she was told they were being intimate. And she's asking, is it good? Poor Paul, I think he wanted the floor to open up and swallow him whole. He wanted the floor to open up and swallow him whole because he was so embarrassed. It was so endearing to watch. And Auntie Maria was serious. She had a straight face. She wanted to know. I think I can only imagine Paul's impression if he stays, with Carina and then he gets to watch Auntie Maria's first impression of him. Oh my God. Maria has to be kept away from Paul at all costs because poor Carina. Carina was embarrassed. She was embarrassed, but I think she knows her aunt. Every one of us has that aunt that will sort of embarrass you with some of the things she'll say and do. But I think they know it's coming from a place of love and sort of care. It's not coming from a place of malice. So that was the cute bit. It was really a sweet sort of meet the family compared to what Afina had to go through. This I loved. Nothing I hate more than being proved right. And sadly, I am being proved right because you have Elliot and his wife, Veronica. They have the honesty challenge, whereby they write a letter to one another. We didn't get to hear what she wrote, but we got to hear Elliot. Elliot wrote about, the time his sister, his younger sister was diagnosed with diabetes and how, his mom was struggling with it. And so his dad had to more or less step up, I think, when he turned up. And so they were able to get a diagnosis, get treatment and everything. And so we got to find out about how panicked his mom was. We got to find out about how sick his sister was and how stoic his dad was when he came and he sort of took over and sort of was able to manage the situation. But we did not get to hear about Elliot. This is the thing. I agree with Veronica. I called it. I said Veronica is going to be the person that breaks Elliot. She's going to be the one that teaches him the lessons that he needed to be taught, the lessons that Laura, no matter how good she is, was never ever going to be able to teach him. So the idea that he's matched with this woman who is holding his feet to the fire and he's sort of staring at her blankly doesn't make sense. To me, it sounded like a story that someone had either told him or that he had read about and that he had decided to use to sort of get away with, because it didn't make sense how, his sister being diagnosed had changed him. I would have loved him to say, my sister being diagnosed with diabetes really scared me because I thought I was going to lose my sister. I love my sister. She's my only sibling and she's my best friend. So losing her would have really rocked me. And so realizing that she was sick changed me because I became more protective of my sister. I wanted to learn more about diabetes. I wanted to learn more how I could be a better brother and protect her and provide for her. That way, whatever foods she needed to eat, I started changing my eating habits. I started changing my exercise habits. This is why I'm very particular about my body. This is why I'm very particular about ABC. Yes, he talked about the fact that he's emotionless and he's sort of always in problem solution sort of mode, but it would have been nice to see how that changed him or how that affected him as the brother, not his dad being stoic, but how he was changed. Because with diabetes, his sister's constantly checking her blood sugar, she's constantly administering her insulin, she's constantly monitoring what she's eating. So how did that change him as a person? Was he afraid that, he would be diagnosed with the same disease? Was he afraid that if he did something, he might be the next person to get diabetes in his family? Did he become more focused as a result of that? Did he become more protective? Was he more cautious of what he did? These are the things that she wanted to know about him. That how did this affect him? What has this story got to do with the honesty challenge? And so for him to stare blankly and appear confused doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. And I am here for her holding his feet to the fire and not letting go. And you could tell he was helpless. He was helpless. And now I think I see that Elliot really likes this girl. Elliot knows he's upgraded, but sadly the upgrade that he's got is this upgrade that's going to break him, because she is not the meek and submissive wife that he wanted. She is someone who is there to make him the best version of himself. And now I see why the experts matched him with Veronica, because Veronica doesn't seem to back down. For him to try and look for empathy and say she didn't understand, or she didn't take seriously his plight, what did they expect her to say? I'm here for it and I love it. I'm so happy that he was humbled. So you have Dave and Jamie meet up with her dad and his mom and her sister and aunt, I think, and his siblings or friends. It was the cutest meet the family ever. I really loved it. It was very peaceful. You can tell they're really serious about one another. The fact that they actually got their family to represent, and not just family, but their parents to represent was amazing. Because I remember during the introductory episode, it won't come out of my mouth, Jamie was talking about her dad going and praying for her to find her person, asking every single person he came across. So I think he was very nervous coming to this event, because he was worried that she might not be actually linked. It might not be working with Dave. So to find Dave and to have him say his heart sings because Jamie sees her and hears him, I think this was something even his mom wasn't expecting. You could see everybody's face light up the moment he spoke. Jamie has been a revelation for Dave, because Dave has come out of his shell. He was this, humble giant, and to see him sort of open up and be the best version of himself because of her was something that I don't think even his family expected. And so I love this for him. That Jamie is sort of complimenting him and he is sort of complimenting her, because she was actually mellow. She wasn't too in your face, and even the family saw that, and how she was it was the cutest thing ever. It really touched my heart. Jamie and Dave are trying to win me. I will resist. I can't do another reality TV couple and then have heartbreak afterwards. I'm still recovering from, Love Island Australia. Dylan and Sophie had me, so I'm trying not to go there with anyone, but I really love them. I love meet their family. I thought it was the sweetest ever. And then we had Morena and Tony meet up with their friends. This was something else. Okay, let's be for real before I dive into this. Tony struggled with Morena because Morena tended to overtalk him. So this was something that he couldn't deal with and something he was struggling with in his marriage. And so as much as he liked her initially, her overtalking him, I think, put him off. So he brought his friends Danny and Georgia, and she brought her friends from the wedding as well. So she had Marika, I think is her name, and Josephine represent for her. So out of the blue, she just took things left. She started complaining, oh, he's treated me badly, or he takes his time, he's non-confrontational, he doesn't like to dig deep, he doesn't. She found so many problems. And I love that Tony asked the friends that, can you describe the woman that you know? Because the woman that the two of you know, I don't think is the same person that I know. I don't think she's the person that is showing up in our marriage. And I have a feeling that her friends coached him into what to say, because out of the left field, he just started talking about the fact that he wanted children. And it's like, Tony, if you knew, it would have made sense when you were cast for you to say, I've lost my parents, I am all alone, and I want a family of my own. That would have made sense. For you, out of the blue, to suddenly talk about the fact that you want children and Morena can't give you children, does it make sense? I think the friends are the ones that encouraged him to say that, because they knew that if she was told that, I want children, then she couldn't argue with that, because he wants children. You can't give him children. You're past the age of giving children, so you would have to keep it stepping. And so the friends just said to him, the way we discussed it is the way you should put it out there. I think they know her. I think they know Morena, and I think they know her temper tantrums and how she can be. And this is why they created this little storyline for him to sort of say what was happening. That way he could untangle himself from her. But I don't think they banked on her reaction, because she wasn't impressed. She was nice and peaceful, but I have a feeling that once the camera crew packed up and left the building, she kicked off, because she was saying, oh, he's telling me he wants children. He's never said he's wanted children. Suddenly he wants children because he knows I can't give him children. And it's like, maybe him seeing you with your children is what has pushed him to say, I want children. How about that? How about that? It's something that, you should be digging deeper into. Is he open to adoption? Is he saying he wants only his own biological children? What is it? But no, she didn't say that. She was saving it for the camera. She started making faces. She started making gestures. And it's like, you can't force someone if they don't like you. Tony was put off by the way that Morena overtalks him, the way that she makes things worse than they actually are when she's discussing with everybody else. That's what put him off. It wasn't her age. I think he didn't mind that he didn't have biological children. I think her sort of reaction and her response to situations and how she addressed situations with other people is why he's checked out. And I totally agree with him. He needs to check out. So we have round 2 of the Elliot and Veronica situation. Elliot is reading a book, the Four Agreements, and it's like he's trying to appear as though he's this learned person, he's this evolved person, and we all know Elliot is Elliot. So you have him sit down for round 2 with Veronica, because she left the apartment and they're not getting anywhere. I said it already before, because I watch a few minutes and then I always review, and then I watch another few minutes, and I called it. The reason why she's upset is because he didn't explain how this whole thing made him feel. He spoke about his sister, but he never spoke about how he as a person felt as a result of his sister being diagnosed with diabetes at such a young age. And the audacity for him not to understand this doesn't make sense. For him to try and sort of paint it like she's being unreasonable also doesn't make sense, because he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he said. The audacity to say, let me read my letter again to you, lets you know that he was reading through whatever he's read or whatever he's photocopied or whatever he's plagiarized. That's what he was trying to read through, because he didn't need to bring up the letter and sort of read again, this was a very sort of heartbreaking situation for me. And it's like, Elliot, of all the things you could have spoken about starting your business. What made you start your business? What in particular was the drive behind it? What motivates you every morning to get up and continue sort of striving to be a better businessman? You could have spoken about that, but no, you chose to write a story that you thought she would eat up, and sadly she's seeing right through it. She held his feet to the fire. The way she was so calm, she was coming across as a narcissist herself. I'm going to say it. I think they're two of a kind. I think they're birds of a feather. And sadly, at the moment, Elliot really likes this woman. So he's prepared to do and say everything that she wants him to say in order for them to stay in this experiment. I have a feeling he knows if he doesn't sort of comply with her, she is going to pack her bags and go home. And if she goes home, he goes home. He has no other reason to stay, and Mafs are not going to give him a third bride. So I think this is why he's trying his best to be on his best behavior. The fact that Veronica sort of one by one disassembled his points and sort of made sure that he understood where she was coming from, I was here for it. I was cheering for it. And sadly for Elliot, he's met his match. If not someone who is above him, who plays in a different league from him. And I don't know how he can ever come back from this. I think they're going to stay apart until they get to the commitment ceremony. And I wouldn't be surprised if Veronica says enough is enough and she chooses to go home. Or she might stay in the experiment just to teach him a lesson or two. They might want to keep her because they know that she's able to hold her own. I wish they would put her in a throuple with Adrian as well. That way she could manage to humble those men and reprogram them, because she seems like, she's up to the task. She's able to sort of stand 10 toes deep and sort of challenge these men in ways that they have not been challenged before by their ex-wives. So I can't wait for this. The fact that she went to her room and was sort of broke the fourth screen and sort of asked the producers, how am I supposed to deal with it? I can't. I think production are trying to keep her there, and I think after what she heard from Lauren, she wants to pack her bags and go, but they're trying to make sure they keep her in the process, and I can't wait for this. I can't wait for the dinner party and the commitment ceremony on Monday to see what happens. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 18. Bye guys.